Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Hypermine Vanilla Season 3. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. So today, we are going to take a little tour of a couple of XP farms available here on the server because we need to get a flight bow, that is a punch 2 bow, to use with those Elytra that Kondrik brought me. We're also going to be taking care of some of that skelly farm that I mentioned in the last episode, so let's get started. In an ongoing segment here, whenever we start over at the witch farm, let's take a look at the progress on the perimeter dig. You can see that we've got an additional chunk really far down. We are at about 20 or 22, so not too far at all on that one. And then the next chunk is going to be right there. You can see the beacon beam hanging out right in the middle there. So once this one's done, then we will start over here. But the order of business for today, in continuing to provide a variety of content that is somewhat easy to record, but also provide some progress in a project, we are going to be taking a tour of the enderman farm and the gold farm to hopefully get this to become a good flight bow. So we've got infinity right there. We got unbreaking, mending. We need one more book or type of bow, something. We need a punch 2 and punch 2 only. So this is going to be our flight bow to use with the Elytra. It has mending and unbreaking? Yeah, okay. So Kondrik has really given me a wonderful, wonderful thing there. It is almost nighttime. Let's do the little fake sleep thing. And let's go over to the Skelly Farm dig. You can see that there's a little something over on the horizon. And what could that be? You see it shooting up into the air, almost beckoning us to come over and examine it. It's almost like it's a beacon of light beckoning us over to what may be there. And what could that be? Well, you take a look in the top right corner, we see a little status effect icon, and sure enough, we've got a full beacon right here. Where's this from? Soap? Did you steal it from the iron farm? No, this is another one. I went and hung out at our wither skelly hunting ground. It took quite some time because they just weren't spawning, and the ones that did spawn were not dropping. And well, that's a problem. Anyway, so we've got a beacon now, finally, and I've brought that over here to make things a little bit easier for MC Soap the Great. Yes, the camera account. I've brought the camera account on. Camera account is going to be digging out in here while we go take our tour, okay? So what we need, and camera account, are you paying attention? I would skip over there and try and make him nod, but hopefully he's paying attention. We need an area that's 9 by 9 on the inside for this skelly farm. And, you know, I haven't done a lot of building underground in quite some time. So when we first started this channel, and if you haven't checked it out, feel free to go check it out, but be easy on me. The audio quality is not the best, and the overall commentary also somewhat derpy. So if you do go back and check it out, that's the Building This City series. I built underground there, but we're going to be building underground here. We've got, we're going to have this skelly spawner kind of suspended in midair within a rather large cave. So camera account, I need you to dig out a rather large area, but we need at least 9 by 9 around here. We need enough for an 11 by 11 box on the outside. You got it? Okay, good. Okay, so we're also going to need, let's see, the overall spawning area that you need for a 2 high mob. We need to go one more set of air blocks above this, and then the roof. And then below it, we need 1. And then we got to get those skeletons outside of the range of the spawner. So we're going to drop them by 3. And then we're going to drop them an additional 3 to go into the water channel. So we've got quite the box to dig. Camera account's going to do that while we go and see if we can find ourselves a punch 2 book. So I'm going to head back over to... We're going to go to the enderman. No, we got to go through the nether. So we might as well go to the gold farm first so you can see that. So I will meet you back in the nether hub. All right. See you over there. And we're back here at the Nether Hub, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to the roof of the Nether. Tio Lone Wolf did this. He punched the hole through the bedrock using, there's a couple of bugs available. I'm not sure which one he used, but yeah, he punched the hole through and then built this thing, which is massive, and he's done quite a good job on it. So let's go up here. Let's see if we can find a punch 2 book. If we can find a punch 2 book or bow, then we should be good to go. But we'll still take a look at the enderman farm just to show you how that's all going. Let's come over here. There's a punch 1. Let's see. Let's just go through here. And I have put plenty of books in here, so I don't feel the slightest bit bad about stealing one. So I used to use this primarily because it was very easy. There's a punch 1. And there's a punch 1. So we can put those together. We'll get a punch 2. Now let's go into our ender chest. And what we will do, what I'm going to do actually is put those together. It's a lot easier right now to do XP like that at the enderman farm. But I just wanted to show you this whole thing. So we've got a couple of villagers here. One is for trading the rotten flesh, because we get a lot of it. And we're full up. Ooh, we got to do some trading. Not too much gold ingots there, but a lot, no, not too many gold nuggets either. Okay. And then over here, this guy is for trading books, specifically mending. It's rather expensive. You can go to Port Hypermine and get one for 12 there. So I think that's the cheapest one we've got on the server is 12. Over here, a little enchanting area, and then storage for the swords that you're not supposed to get through the system, but sometimes the sorting backs up. We get a lot through a lot of swords. Nice. And this is just like, I guess people had throwaway items when they're going through the enchanting. Bunch of books. So yeah, up here, just the mechanic to let you know is that if you aggravate a pigman, it's going to aggro everyone around it. And whenever they die and they're aggro, they drop XP. And so what Tio has done, he's got this massive spawning pad here. And that aggravates them, or you can get a bunch spawning and then they go aggro and they keep going aggro. It's a continual kind of chain reaction. And then we've got this, what else we got? Oh, there's a magma cube somewhere around here. But there is a slime block elevator that shoots all the items and the XP up here. The XP comes into the player. If you stand right here, you can just go AFK. Sometimes the chain reaction stops just because they get out of range, or we get too many magma slimes, and what's the other ones? Oh, endermen now spawn in here. So if those take up the mob cap, then this whole thing will shut down. You have to hit another pigman. But you get your XP, and then all the items go into the sorting that is right there. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to send this down. I don't like going down the elevator because we've had some client and server desync issues, and so sometimes the slime block that gets pushed out for the elevator is out on the client but is retracted in the server. So because it's on the client thinks, oh, you hit the block, and rather than try and figure out that, oh, that block's not actually supposed to be there on the client, it just says, okay, you're dead, and you die. And I've died on that once, so I always take the elevator down, and the other members on the server laugh at me for that, but I prefer not dying and having to come back and get all my stuff. So that's that. That is the gold farm, a massive build, and a big thanks to Tio for that. He does not do videos or streaming, so you will not be able to see that, the construction process. So he's roughly following. Well, he picked a few different mechanics that were explored primarily by Snow Crash, I believe. So it's a mix of that and just a few other things, and it's worked really well. I quite enjoy it. Use it quite a lot. But I'm going to go over this way. We're going to go to the enderman farm. I will meet you over at the stronghold. All right, here's the stronghold. I have shown you this before when we were doing the end item transport back to spawn. So and Tio's done this one as well. Came on and made this whole area safe for actually going in. We still have the silverfish spawner under here, but everything around is spawn proof. So yeah, anyway, hopefully, yeah, none came through. Oh, Twinkles is on, so let's just say hi. And what we're going to do is grab a minecart, and we're going to go to the enderman farm that's this way. You've seen the other direction. That's when we were throwing items through the end portal. We're going to go this direction, and I have not shown you this. So we're going to head out here. And, yep, hey, soap and soap. Yeah. So, I wonder what she's going to be. She's probably recording for a little later this week. But, yeah, she put out a video recently, some builds that she has been working on over in her enchanted forest village. It's quite a fun build, so I do suggest you go check that out. Check on the Hypermine subreddit for the relative links, but we're going to come over here. We're at the enderman farm now. It's a fairly simple decoration, but we've got some storage area for books and minecart return system, enchanting area, and then the pièce de résistance. Gonna go like that, and we can just pick up this XP like so. And what Tio's done with this one is it is an endermite driven system. So there's an endermite up in a minecart up in the top. The endermen are attracted to that, and they fall down the hole. They're one hit once they come down here. We just use the swipe mechanic of the sword, and there we go. We get plenty of XP. What we can do now is we can build up our bows. So let's come here. That's 5. What's this one? That one's 5. So pretty good. How about here? 6. And then we'll put that on there. And we've got a mending, unbreaking 3, infinity punch 2. Awesome. So that's our flight bow. I probably should have named it, but I don't care for naming stuff anymore. But there we go. We got a flight bow. Got our Elytra. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But what we're going to do now is we're going to head back to the overworld. I might play around with this some. I don't know if I'm going to do it on camera because, yeah, it's going to be a lot of derping. But we're going to head back to the overworld. There's a seed. How in the world is there a seed? There we go. I don't get it. We'll just throw that and somebody else can pick it up. We're going to head back to the overworld and see how cameraman Soap is getting on with that hole that we asked him to dig. And we'll see if we can make some progress on that skelly farm. All right. We are back, and what I'm going to do is go see how cameraman Soap has fared with this hole down here. Hopefully he got a nice looking cave structure all dug out. We shall see. We shall see if we have to do any fine tuning to it. All right. Wait. It looks he put a slab down. What a slacker. What a slacker. I honestly, I literally can't even. What in the world? It looks like we are going to have to do this ourselves. You hire a camera guy, and what do? They just stand around, and they don't do anything. I guess we'll have to take care of this ourselves. All right, let's go. are back, and no thanks to that slacker Soap Cam, MC Soap the Great. We've got this place dug out. So we've got this large square in the ground. I think it's a square. Let's see. Anyway, that's for the pedantic amongst you. But it is roughly a square. It's a box in the ground. And what we're going to do is build within this box. And then once the main building is done, you kind of saw in that time lapse, you kind of saw some of the design I was working out. The main thing was to get the correct offsets for the walls out here. But we're going to have the inner box, and that's where the skelly grinder is going to be. And then there's going to be an outer box. So you can still walk around. You can look in. We're going to be using glass on the inside box, and then we're going to be using slabs on the outside to limit the light levels that can get in. So you can still walk in and walk around and see the skellies falling to their doom. And what I've got here is kind of a reminder of the overall, what's the word? The overall bounding boxes that we have to be mindful of in building one of these dungeon spawners. I've explained this on my single player world, but not all of you watch my single player series, and if you don't, why not? Anyway, we got a lot of good stuff going on there. We're working through a survival island kind of deal. But so I've explained this before, but I will explain it again. Each of these spawners will spawn up to 4 of the entities in there within a 9x9 area centered on the spawner, and 3 in height. And then it has to obey the correct height of the mob. In this case, skeletons are too high, so you technically need 4 total in height. So they're going to spawn from this block up to this one, and you still need a clear airspace up here to make sure that they can spawn in this block. So the next part you've got to keep in mind is that if there are any mobs within, if there are 6 mobs within this range right here, so 3 in addition down here and above, and then an extra 4 out on each side, based on what I've been seeing, then what you're going to have is it's going to lock up the spawner. So you need to get your mobs out of there as quickly as possible, and that's just what we're going to do. We're going to drop them out of that area, and we're going to drop them down into here. Our water is going to be at this level. We're going to have a floor right below it. And the reason we do that is just in case they hit the water and they start jumping. If you had the water right here at this one, right there, then they could jump and just occasionally put their hitboxes into the exclusion zone. That's what I'm going to call it. And that's why we want to drop them down 3 and make sure they don't jump up in there. So anyway, that's the overall levels that we're dealing with. And as to this box, it is rather sterile looking, right? What we're going to do is we're going to build this whole thing, and then on the final decoration, we're going to kind of carve out and make this thing look like more of a cave all the way around. We've got plenty of caves hanging out. I came across a few, and depending on what I did in the time lapse, I may not have shown everything, but I came across these and had to go through and light them up. So anyway, what we're going to do next is work on some of the glass, and what I've done is I'm going to be using the white stained glass, and we can put this away. We're going to use granite as our scaffolding block for the time being. We're going to come up here to just outside, hopefully. And while I am starting to lay out some of this glass that we're going to use for this particular aspect of the project, I want to chat with you about something. So recently we hit 500 subscribers, and not long after that we hit 600, and the 600 came before I had even done the 500 subscriber special. And so you might have been wondering, why in the world have you not put anything up for the 500 sub special? Well, I had mentioned wanting to do a Q&A. I think I mentioned this last episode too. I'm not sure which series I have mentioned it on, but I talked about this at some point, and we didn't get enough questions for the 500 subscriber Q&A. I love that feature right there. Pick block. It's a great feature, great addition. So thank you, Mo Yang, for that one. Yeah, so I didn't get enough questions, which means that we are going to, well, I just have to wait a little bit. That's all. And what we're going to do is go for a 10 stack special. So we're going to do a Q&A at 640 subscribers, which is coming up. So if you would like to ask me a question, feel free to ask in ask.fm, and the link to that is in the description box below. But I think I have chatted on enough about that. What I'm going to do is continue with this overall glass box around. I think we're going to go down to the floor. So yeah, let me get that done, and I'll bring you back once we've got that good to go. Well, I have looked at the time for this video, and well, we don't have much left. So what we're going to do is draw this to a close, but I wanted to show you real quick this structure right here. Overall, not too shabby. I do want to share something with you though. There are times that I wish I was not doing the B00 texture pack for this particular series, this season, and that's because white stained glass looks so much better when you just go with something like Faithful 32. So this is what it looks like in Faithful 32. You can see the structure that we're going for here. White stained glass around. We're going to go with the stone brick there on the floor, and there is going to be water in there, but we're not going to have time for that today. And why do we have those cobblestone blocks on the corners? Well, that's the lighting right now. It's going to keep those air blocks all around the area from spawning the skeletons while we're working in here. And you'll notice that I left a couple of little bits open right there. You can see it where my cursor is pointing. Yeah, so that's going to let me get into there and knock out the cobblestone without actually putting myself in any danger. Of course, we're going to have some lights on here as well. We're going to go all out. We're going to have some redstone mechanics going on to turn this thing on and off. But anyway, let's put back on the B00 texture pack, or resource pack, as they say nowadays. And it takes a while to, well, it didn't take too long to load there. That's not too bad. And then we will just tear this back out and head on down and just take a look from the side. So there you go. That's going to be it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Do let me know what you think about this project and about the little tour at the front end of this episode. Go take a look at the Hypermine subreddit. You can take a look at what everybody else has been working on, and you can see the people that we mentioned through the various farms that we visited today. So do go take a look at that, but that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, a like is always appreciated, and if you haven't done so already, think about subscribing so you're up to date with everything going on the channel. But again, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.